Hello, hello. It's me, Nathaniel. Welcome to the second channel. I'm glad to have you here. It's gonna be a relaxed environment, and I want to start off by just having a relaxed video where I talk about some games, because that's probably what a lot of what's gonna happen here. I'm gonna talk about games because I like games. I enjoy them. I play them a lot. Um, Ever since I was really little. I don't know. I just had a weird, I almost had a weird thing for them, but that made it sound sexual. I assure you it's not sexual. So earlier, I was online, on the internet, I was on the net. I basically stumbled upon this little template, which had all these different little genres. Or not genres, but all these little classifiers. There was just like all these little things. It was like, best story, best art style, most impactful game, just stuff like that. And I don't know, I thought it was really cool. And so I just decided to sit down for a little while and just go through and just kind of fill in the blanks, come up with, it's always interesting doing this kind of stuff because you never really truly realize what you value in a game and what your true feelings are about your favorite games and what you like value in them until you do something like this and you have to make those tough calls. Like in here they have favorite game of all time, right? And one game popped into my head. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to save that for last because I feel like that's the big one. But one game popped in my head immediately. But I was like, I can't choose that game. I can't. Because that's like, people are going to be like, what the fuck? Like, that's such a cop-out. That's going to piss people off. And I'm like, am I lying to myself? Is that even my favorite game? But I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? I can't think of many other games, if any, that I could probably just sit down and just play through start to finish in one sitting and just kind of, have a good time. Just really have like a nice chill experience with. But we'll get to that later. We'll get to that. We'll get there when we get there. So, I'll just start with, let's see. I'll just go right here from the start and just go from left to right. So the first one is best story. And for best story, I chose Steins Gate, which is a little bit of a cheat because I haven't even played the Steins Gate game. Well, I played a little bit of the Steins Gate visual novel, but I haven't beaten it yet. You know what? I said I don't fucking care. I love Steins Gate, and the anime story is the same story as the game story, so it counts. It's a story in a video game, and I'm still confident that even if I played more story-based games, which most of the games I play, admittedly, are more, they're not the most story-based games. Even if I did play more story-based games, Steins Gate, it's the shit, okay? It's one of those stories that everybody has a different sensibility, and everybody looks for different things in kind of their entertainment. And Steins Gate is just one of those stories that just like, it's just like, this is my shit. Like, this has exactly the stuff that I like and look for. Like, it's got the time travel, which I always love time travel. Even if it's done poorly, I get a kick out of it for some reason. And Steins Gate does not do it poorly. It does it incredibly well. It's got sort of like a sort of unlikable, buffoonish protagonist who redeems himself, which is an archetype that I just love. It's like funny, but then you see the people who you were once laughing with and even laughing at in these tragic situations, and it just makes you feel for them even more. And it's just, it's got everything. It's got everything you could possibly want. And I love it. But, I don't want to go off on about it too much because I know that I would feel... Steins Gate is one of those things where it's like, if you spoil it for somebody, like if I spoiled that for somebody, I would never forgive myself. So I can't talk about it. But I will say this. I've been thinking about writing like a little video essay type situation. Just kind of talking about it at length and like what I really like about it, and kind of like doing a bit of a character analysis on Okabe and everything. because he's just I think he's such an interesting character. And yeah, so maybe that'll happen in the future. Don't hold me to that, please, because I'm not the best at keeping my promises. Still have not posted part 2 of my Christmas video from last year. So don't hold me to shit, because I won't follow through. So sorry. My next one is favorite art style, which this one was actually really hard for me, because the first thing that popped in my head for some reason was the cutscenes in Sonic and the Black Knight and Sonic and the Secret Rings, which, by the way, those games kind of are shit. Especially Secret Rings. Secret Rings sucks balls, dude. It is such... I am the type of person who, not to show my hand too much for the rest of this list, but I will sit down and play a shitty Sonic game, start to finish, just because Sonic's in it. And I don't know what it is, it's just like there's a profound effect over me. It's like, Sonic's in it, I gotta play it. And I know that sounds like probably like psychotic, honestly, but it's just a thing, right? So that was the first thing that popped in my head, was the cutscenes in those games, because I don't know if you haven't seen them, look them up. It's the best thing about both of those games. Aside from the soundtrack, Sonic in the Black Knight has like one of the best game soundtracks, period. I use music from those games, that game specifically, in a lot of videos, because it's just such a banger of a soundtrack. Night of the Wind, dude. Night of the Wind, with the freaking the violin and everything. It is such a good theme song. And the way that they bring back music from older games too, like It Doesn't Matter, which was the theme of Sonic the Hedgehog, it is so cool. And those storybook games, they may not have been very good, but they paid tribute to the franchise. And one thing I've heard a lot of people say, that I really agree with, is that Sonic and the Black Knight and Sonic and the Secret Rings were the last Sonic the Hedgehog games, like mainline Sonic games, that kept the sort of attitude and the kind of spirit of Sonic Adventure, and Sonic Adventure 2. Now, the current era that we live in is just like a very meta, which can be funny sometimes. I like the Sonic Boom cartoon. I think it's funny. I think it's really funny at times. But I'm sorry. I should have got tea. I don't know why I brought up. Look, okay. I didn't feel like making tea, because usually when I'm recording something like this with my voice, I drink tea while I'm talking because it's good for your voice. But I didn't feel like making tea because it's like, that's gonna take me like 5 extra minutes. So I just grabbed like a sparkling water, right? But it's like, now I'm drinking. You're not supposed to drink carbonated shit while you're recording voiceover because you're gonna burp like an idiot. So that was a mistake. But yeah, basically, the Sonic storybook games, they're not good. Black Knight's not terrible. Secret Rings is dog shit. But they had the spirit of the adventure games, and they had killer soundtracks. At least Black Knight did. I don't really know about Secret Rings, because I don't like the theme song. 7 rings in hand. It's a bad song. It's shit. The best thing to come out of Sonic and the Secret Rings was, probably Sonic and the Black Knight. But other than Sonic and the Black Knight, the best thing to come out of Secret Rings is the mashup between 7 Rings in Hand and the one Ariana Grande song. Is it called 7 Rings? I don't know. I don't listen to Ariana Grande. Anyway. Wow, getting off topic. I expected this. This is probably going to be like 2 hours of audio, quite frankly. But whatever. That's the point of the second channel. Is to have stuff like this. That's just raw, you know? Just raw. Anyway. I sound like a crazy person over here. Oh yeah, I was talking about best art style. So yeah, those were the first thing that popped into my head. But the reason I couldn't go with those is because, one, those games are shit, and quite frankly, I don't want them anywhere near my list. And second of all, it's only the cutscenes that have that art style. And while I may love that art style, I don't want to have... I can't put a game on there because it has really nice cutscenes. I mean, that's just stupid. I mean, that's not a game's art style. That's the cutscene art style. The actual game doesn't even really. I don't even care for the way those games look outside of those cutscenes. So it was just obviously. But then it got me thinking. Well, I love the watercolor like look. I love. It's like it's cute as hell. It's such a nice. I love it. I love it so much. So it got me thinking. Are there any other games that have that sort of art style? And so the first thing that popped into my head was like Yoshi's Story and Kirby's Dream Land 3, which both of those were serious contenders. I did look back at Kirby Dream Land 3 because I hadn't played it in a long time, and it does look really nice, but it doesn't look quite as nice as I remember. Like, don't get me wrong, it looks fantastic for an SNES game, but it wasn't. I didn't look at it and say like, oh yeah, that's the one. That art style, like I love that so much. So I looked at Yoshi's Story, and Yoshi's Story was pretty good too. It had that watercolor thing going on, but it just, I don't know. I didn't feel right saying like, yes, this is my favorite game art style. This is the most artistically cool and interesting game that I can think of. And plus, I felt like they were also kind of normie picks. Like, you know, I mean, Yoshi's Story, I don't know, I just feel like Yoshi, you know, it just, I don't know, it felt like a normie thing. And I'm like, I'm not a normie, I'm like cool. And I'm doing this whole thing because it's like, you know, I'd like to pick some things that maybe people hadn't heard of as much. And that might be a little more interesting to talk about because, you know, I like talking about kind of weirder, like, you know, oddities and stuff like that. Stuff that maybe people aren't as aware of, because that's more interesting than just adding, you know, a 50 millionth opinion to what you thought about, like, you know, the newest Zelda or whatever. Even though, you know, I do love Zelda a lot. And I will be, you know, I'm gonna, don't worry, I'm like talking myself into a hole here. There's gonna be plenty of normie picks, okay, is what I'm saying. So I thought that I could at least choose one, right? That's not a normie pick. So what I ended up going with was Mad World for the Nintendo Wii, which, if you haven't played Mad World, you should. It's fucking probably the most masculine game of all time, which is, it's weird that I like it, I know, right? But it's probably the most masculine game you'll ever see. It's fucking sick. It's got a super cool art style. Like, I'm surprised it's not the first thing I thought of, honestly, because it's basically black and white, except for the blood, which is, you know, obviously it's red. So it's such a satisfying and cool game because it's the whole focus of it is just to kill people in the most grotesque way you can think of, like shoving signposts through their heads and, like, you know, throwing them on like a spike on a wall over and over, or like throwing them into a train. It is pure, like, unadulterated violence and like gore, and I love it. I think it's great. And the art style of it really seals the deal. It's a great game. The art style, though, definitely is what makes it stand out. It was a shame Anarchy Reigns was sort of, it wasn't the sequel to Mad World because it wasn't, you know, it wasn't like, I don't think it was related story-wise. It was almost like a Platinum Games crossover kind of situation where you had different iconic characters that they had, including, you know, I think his name is Jack from Jack from Mad World. But unfortunately, you know, since that was a different game, a different IP, different art style, it dropped the black and white thing. So it is really weird to see the guy from Mad World not in that kind of like aesthetic. It's weird to see him with colors, but Anarchy Reigns, I bought it a while back in my local video store, which we had until a couple years ago, went out of business, and you know, I went there and I bought a bunch of random ass games because they were like $1 each. And I got Anarchy Reigns, but I haven't tried it yet because it was actually a multiplayer focused title. And unfortunately, the servers went down ages ago, and it's It's sad because it's supposedly one of those, like, a really, like, fun ass multiplayer game, but it just didn't really have its time to shine for a whole lot of reasons. I don't even want to get into the history of that game because it is a shit show. But rest assured, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I picked Mad World. Cool ass game, fun, lots of blood. You know, I like me some blood. Yeah. Anyway, so, but, you know, I would have liked to go with like a cuter sort of like aesthetic, for whatever game I picked, because I like cute stuff. I like Yoshi's. I like Kirby. You know, I thought about putting Wind Waker on there because, man, Wind Waker, mwah! But I'm almost certain that 9 out of 10 people put Wind Waker as their game, and you know what? Not trying to be too much of a basic bitch. Once we get to my favorite game of all time, you can call me a basic bitch then, but at least don't call me a basic bitch now. Anyway, our next one is "I'll finish it someday," in quotes, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. It's a game that I have been meaning to finish for a long time and just never have. And for me, it's actually a whole series, because every game in this series that I picked up, I've gotten about halfway through and then dropped it, despite really enjoying it. And that series is Resident Evil. Now, I love Resident Evil. I consider myself a fan of it, too. Maybe you could call me a fake fan, considering I've never fucking beaten one of the games. But I like Resident Evil a lot. Resident Evil Remake I was playing last Halloween. I bought it on my Switch. I was sick. You know, I was sick. It was like 2 weeks before Halloween. I was like, you know, I'm going to be in my bed for like a week straight. Maybe that's exaggerating, but I'm going to be in my week for, I'm going to be in my week. I'm going to be in a weakened state, bedridden for like, you know, 48, 72 hours. I'm just gonna download Resident Evil. I'm just gonna buy Resident Evil Remake. It's on sale for like $10. I'm gonna play it on my Switch, and I'm just gonna beat it in like, you know, 3 days and just have a nice spooky time. And yeah, I didn't beat it. I played it. I played it quite a bit, but I was also tired and I was having a lot of headaches and things, so I'm not. Yeah, you know, so I was like, puzzle, I don't feel like dealing with a puzzle right now, fuck you. Turn off the game, watch like a YouTube video, pass out, get up the next day, I don't really feel like playing it, watch YouTube, pass out. That's what it's like being sick, right? Yeah, so that's what happened with Resident Evil Remake, and that was the most recent one. And then before that, Resident Evil 4, I tried to play, and then I actually had it on a bootleg, or not bootleg, I had it on a hacked PS3, and unfortunately that was a PS3 FAT, okay? And if you know anything about the FAT model PS3s, the shelf life on those, they die, like, fast, dude. They die, like, right away. And I found it in my sister-in-law's basement, my sister-in-law's dad's basement. And this dude's like a hoarder. He's got so much shit. And so we're down there, and I was just like, hey, you mind if I take this? And he's like, oh, yeah, I don't care. So I just take this PS3, this fat metal PS3, and it's the one that can play PS1 games, PS2 games, and PS3 games. So it was a good ass find. And those are also the hackable ones. The slims you can't hack, and the super slims, just forget about it, dude. Don't even try with them fucking super slims. And they're stupid ass manual like disk drive shit. What's up with that? Huh? What is this cheap ass nonsense? Man, I gotta put my hand on it and slide it to the left, and slide it to the right. What do I look like, an animal? Jesus Christ. I joke, but those things actually look slick as hell. Like I was actually jealous of my friend who had one of those. The slim, the fat, it's disgusting. But it can play PS1 games and PS2 games, so I hacked it, right? And I got halfway through Resident Evil 4. I was really enjoying it. It's a good ass game. Maybe a touch overrated, but still a fun ass game. Yeah. So PS3 fat. Remember the foreshadowing earlier? They die. Well, it died. The thing fucking like exploded. That's not true. It just stopped working, and so I lost all of my save data on Resident Evil 4. Like, I was 8 hours in. I was like at the exact half point of the game, and I lost my progress. So I said, well, guess I'm not going to be playing Resident Evil 4 again anytime soon. So Resident Evil 4 will not be on my list anywhere because of that. It may have been. If I could have finished the game back then, it might have been because it was a good-ass time. And then Resident Evil Village, that came out, and everybody I knew was hyped about it. Everybody I knew was playing this game. Even people like friends that I have on Discord who I didn't even know were aware of Resident Evil and its existence were talking about the game, talking about the tall lady and how hot she was and all this stuff. And I was just like, holy shit, I have to play this. Like, I can't miss out on this. I am sometimes guilty of FOMO, of the FOMO thing, right? I think in general, I'm pretty good about not getting sucked into FOMO. But when it comes to games, I sometimes I can't help but buy into it sometimes. Because even like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, when I'm watching the Nintendo Direct a while back and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 comes out, I've never touched a Xenoblade Chronicles game in my entire fucking life. And I can't commit to finishing a 6-hour Metroidvania. And I seriously, I was like, yeah, I gotta get that. I gotta get Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's gonna be 700 hours long, and I'm gonna lose interest 4 hours in. But I gotta spend $60 on that game and play it. So that happened to me with Resident Evil Village. I bought the game, played it on my PS4, loved it, had a good ass time, got spooked, got thrilled. I love the atmosphere of it. I love the vibe of it. I love the werewolves. I love when Ethan glued his hand back on. What an idiot, by the way, Ethan. What a stupid protagonist. I hate that guy. But then yeah, I got about halfway through the game and I stopped playing it, and I have not picked it up since. And I don't really have any specific desire to anymore because, people aren't really talking about it. So hey, who cares? I even dropped the Resident Evil 4 VR version. Like, even putting Resident Evil 4 in VR, even that couldn't get me to finish the game. And seriously, the first time I played Resident Evil 4 VR was literally some of the most fun I had playing a video game, like, ever. Like, at least when it comes to, like, in the past couple years, like, single-player video game experiences, I have not had that much fun playing a game in years. Still didn't finish it. I don't know what's wrong with me. There's like some Resident Evil curse where I just will never finish a Resident Evil game in my life. Even like Resident Evil 5, I called my brother. I'm like, hey, you want to play Resident Evil 5 with me? It's like co-op and it looks really fun. And it's like a short little like action game we can play together. And he was like, sure, why not? We dropped it like 2 hours in, even though it was fun as hell. It's just a series where I'm a fan of it, but I'm a fake fan because I've never beaten one of the games. So, yeah, that's kind of my Resident Evil plight. And that is the series I will never finish. So, next up is the big personal impact game. Now, this was one that I thought about for a couple minutes, but then immediately one game came to mind, and it was easy. For me, the game with the biggest personal impact on me is Danganronpa. So Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc is the first. It's the first one in the series, and I've played a good amount of the sequel. Haven't finished it yet, but I played a good amount of the sequel, and I can confidently say that it is a better game. And looking back, the first game, it's got a lot of issues. It's got some really contrived parts in the story. Like when Makoto falls down the thing, he falls down the trash chute, and Chihiro's like computer virus saves him last minute, and then Kyoko comes. There's a lot of bullshit like that in the story. That from what I've seen in 2, It's not as bad. It's not as contrived. And the characters are better. It's just like it's a better game. But the first game, I had not been that hooked into a game like in a long ass time. Like I had not been that hooked into a game where I would just like come home from school and like just like make a mad dash to my room to continue playing that game. I hadn't like I just that doesn't happen with me a lot. Like I mean, I just went over my history with Resident Evil. Like, I am pretty vapid with this stuff. Like, I will drop a game on a moment's notice if I just get bored with it. But it's not just that. It's also just, like, there's a lot of reasons. It was just, like, it just grabbed me by the balls. And, like, I was really invested in it. But B, it was just, that was in high school. That was my sophomore year, I think. And 2017, I think that was it. I'm not entirely sure. Take these with a grain of salt, these dates and everything. But it was high school, and I was not doing great, you could say, doing really bad, for a lot of reasons. But yeah, that game just it was a positive thing, that I can look back on, from that time, that I value it a lot for that reason, because it's just one of those things where it was a shit time. I was anxious, confused, like lost, all that fun stuff. But that game was something that brought me a lot of happiness at that point. And so for that reason, it's just really impactful. And plus, I was the perfect age for it too. Being like a 15-year-old playing that like stupidly edgy like murder game. I was the perfect age to enjoy the edge. But I also think that when it comes to edgy like murder game type shit, I think Danganronpa is one of the better ones, because it's tongue in cheek, there's it's got self-awareness to it, and beyond that, it's just a good ass time, like solving the murder mysteries, doing the class trials, all that shit. I love a good whodunit, okay? And I love feeling like I'm a detective, because I'm not smart, right? And I'm not great at putting together clues and things like that. So when I get those moments in Danganronpa where I'm just like, I got it. Sorry, that clap was probably stupid, like super loud, like stupid loud. I forgot about it. I'm so sorry. Please lower that in post. But like when I have those eureka moments, it is like a godlike. Like, holy shit, I got you. I know you did it. I know who you. I got you. Like, it's fun. Play it. For Christ's sake, what are you doing? Play the game. It's so fucking fun. You gotta bear with it for a little bit, because it's got a bit of a slow start. But once you get into it, holy shit, it is so fun. And then the honestly the biggest reason that it's the most impactful game for me, and yes, there's more, is because it introduced me to a lot of friends. At the start of the pandemic, I was really bored, and so I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna like do something. I'm just gonna do something dumb, do something quirky. So I looked for Sonic roleplay servers, because I was like, I wonder what these like fucking weirdos are doing roleplaying Sonic. And I found one, and they didn't have. Trust me, this will make sense eventually. How this relates to Danganronpa, and making friends through it. But It's just a funny little anecdote. Um, but it's like, so yeah, they had an opening in their little story for the role of Knuckles, the echidna, and quite frankly, I mean, you heard me sing my version of the Knuckles rap. If anyone is suitable to play Knuckles, it's me. I may not have a personality very similar to Knuckles, but I know Knuckles. Okay, him and I go back quite a ways. Unfortunately, I was rejected. They told me no way in hell. They said no, and then they kicked me. They banned me. That's not true. They politely rejected me. So, after that, I was like, well, fuck it. If the Sonic community won't welcome me, what other community is there that could possibly welcome me? And I was like, oh, I like Danganronpa. Maybe I'll try out our RP server for that. And so I joined this one server, and I just it was like the applications were like, it was like you got to submit like tomorrow. So I just steamrolled through. I was like, I gotta make an OC. I gotta make an original character. I didn't think I'd ever be doing this. What an idiot. I'm so dumb. Do not steal. And then I made my little character, and just like came up with some stupid ass backstory off the top of my head about like his dad like was a clown and like like crashed his clown car or something like that. I don't even remember. It was stupid, but it made me laugh, and I got accepted. And through that, I ended up meeting like a bunch of friends who I still talk to a lot to this day, and just like the overall experience of that role play was so fun. Like it, I know you sound like a kind of an idiot talking about like, ooh, my online role play is so fun, but the experience of that role play was so cool because Danganronpa is a really good thing to roleplay because the way it's set up is just, it's a format that works so well for a roleplay because you've got it's just like it's just a whodunit with some extra rules. And so I think the whodunit is basically the oldest kind of like roleplay that there is, like the murder mystery parties that they would do. Like it's basically just that, except more animeified, right? So a little bit lamer, a little bit more for virgins. But hey, that's why we love it, right? And so yeah, it was fun. And now when I play the Danganronpa games, it's such a like warm, like fuzzy feeling because, and I know that's fucked up because it's like, oh, it's about people being trapped and murdered. But it's such a warm, fuzzy feeling for me because I remember getting up. I remember we were all on different time zones, and the person who ran the server, I'm pretty sure, lived in the Philippines. So they would be holding class trials at like 6 a.m. So I would either have to stay up all night or get up at like the crack of dawn to participate in these trials. But by God, I was not gonna miss a fucking single one of those for anything in the world, because I was so invested. And I remember going through these and piecing it together, and such a fun experience. And yeah, I would put on the music from the games, the free time music during the times where you'd just be hanging out with people, and I've never felt that immersed into something like that. It was so immersive, man. It was like, and so now when I'm playing the games, it's sort of like, I don't exactly know how to put it in a way that doesn't sound stupid, but it's like I feel like I was there at one point. It's like, I don't know. It's so immersive to me because it's like I feel like I lived this in the past. I experienced this before, like with the music and like the interacting with the like kind of interesting characters. And like building up these relationships and seeing the people that you thought were your best friends dying and seeing them turn on you and all that stuff. It's like, I've been there. That happened to me. It's so cool. I cannot recommend it enough. And I'm fortunate in having that experience. Not to get too personal, but I get down on myself sometimes because I think about like high school and I think about how I didn't really have that I didn't really have much of a like robust kind of social like life during high school. I was kind of a loser kid, right? And I didn't really have many friends or anything like that. So I get down on myself thinking about kind of experiences that I didn't get to have during that time. And so it means a lot to me that I did have a unique experience like that. Because even though it's not really comparable to, whatever in my mind, typical high school kids' experiences by any stretch of the imagination, it's still a really cool and unique thing that I got to experience that a lot of people wouldn't really get to have. And the friends that I've made along the way, it's cool stuff, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I love those people that I met. And if they're listening to this, hey, thanks. You mean a lot to me. So yeah, I think that about sums up why Danganronpa is my most impactful game. One last thing to say about it before we move on to the next one is, if you go to a YouTube video called Kirigiri, I think it's called Kirigiri Jing Jing, and it's like a little music video based on, not an AMV, but like a little animated video somebody made of the first game, and you look at the top comments. One of them is of me on my alt account. It got like 8,000 upvotes for some reason, or likes. This isn't Reddit, likes. It got like 8,000 likes for some reason. So if you go on that video, I'll put it up on screen right now. There it is. For some reason, my alt account. It's a stupid ass comment too. I regret. I was like, the reason I found this out is because I was like, I woke up in a cold sweat and I was like, oh fuck, why did I like post that stupid comment? And I like found it and I was like, what? My jaw dropped to the ground because it was like the top comment. And I was like, what? And I was kicking myself because I was like, well shit, this is like cringe. But on the other hand, that's a lot of people. I wish that I would have posted this on my main account, because then those people would have clicked on my channel maybe. But regardless, yeah. So yeah, Danganronpa, it's cool. I like it. I recommend it. I recommend having friends too. So let's move on to our next pick here. Yeah, okay. So best combat. Now this one was kind of a no-brainer for me. It's Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal. It's just sick. Doom Eternal. You got the meat hook, you with your shotgun, you fly through the air, grappling hook onto a guy. I love grappling hooks. I'm a grappling hook lover. I'll admit that. I'm like Mabel from Gravity Falls, through and through, and I'll admit to that. And it's just such a satisfying feeling game. Like, I feel like a god when I play that game. And I ain't no slouch either. I don't play Doom Eternal. I might enjoy like my farming sims and Animal Crossing and like, I like the cute games for cute, watercolor game, blah blah blah. But when I play Doom Eternal, I crank that shit up to the highest difficulty, and I just suffer. Like, I die 100 times in a row. Literally, there are times I probably have died 100 times in a row in that game. But I love it. With that game, I love feeling like one mistake can just fuck you up completely. I love that so much in that game and in those kinds of games. I'm not good at multiplayer shooter games. Like, was never good at Call of Duty. Never good at Halo. Was never good at Apex Legends. Even though I do enjoy some Apex Legends. Don't get me wrong. Fun ass game. But I'm not good at it. But Doom Eternal and single player shooters like that, I love those so much, and I'm actually pretty good at them too. And I love it's almost like a dance of like dodging bullets and like projectiles and like glory killing enemies, and like especially in Eternal when you're dashing and you've got the different like the fire and the ice and the things like that give you different drops and things. It's just such a perfectly designed combat system. I cannot think of a single other game, aside from maybe Ultra Kill, which I did consider putting on here, but I haven't played it enough to say for sure, that feels that satisfying to play. And plus, killer soundtrack. And I've always loved Doom. Doom is one of my you know what? I'm going to stop talking because I don't want to show my hand too much here. Because maybe it'll come up later. Maybe it won't. It does. It does. Spoiler alert. It does. Doom does come up later. So, one thing I will say. If there was a slot on here for, like, best game with mods, it would be the classic Doom and Doom 2. Those games with mods, holy shit. I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent here, because I actually plan to do a video in the future where I look into some Doom mods. And also, I don't want this to be longer than it already is. I don't want to, I mean, we're not even like a fourth. We're barely a fourth of the way through this right now. But the Doom mods, just look it up. Just look at some of the cool stuff you can find with the Doom mods, and you'll see what I mean. So anyway, yeah, Doom Eternal. Fucking great combat. So the next one is a game you like, but everyone hates. So this one was tough for me because usually when I do play a game, it's because the game has it's so critically loved. Mostly because there's just so many. I have such a big backlog of games that I want to play that when I'm choosing to play a game, it's usually going to be a game that's well liked, because why would I take a gamble on some game that I've never really heard of before when there's so many all-time classics that I've yet to experience? So it was a little bit difficult for me, but the one that did come to mind was Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, which was sort of the game between 2 and 3 that they put out to kind of like prove, see if there was enough interest to make No More Heroes 3. Travis Strikes Again is a pretty mixed reception. It does have its fans, and I'm one of them, but a lot of detractors as well, and they're fair to feel the way they do. Travis Strikes Again is a flawed game. The combat, while fun in a kind of mind-numbing way, is rudimentary, a real step back from the previous games, even 2, which was a step back from 1 in certain ways. But Travis Strikes Again has a lot of personality. It's probably the game that best develops Travis as a character, because it's a lot of him it's a lot of him reflecting on what happened in his past, and kind of, I don't know, it's been a little while since I played it, so I have forgotten some of the specific moments. But I just remember overall feeling like weirdly affected by it in an emotional way, and that's something I wasn't really expecting. Travis Strikes Again, I would say would be a solid game if it was shorter. Main issue with the game is that it is equal in length to the other No More Heroes games, at around 8 hours, from what I recall. And that's just too damn long. Well, actually, now that I think about it, No More Heroes 3 was pretty long. I think my playthrough of that was like 30 hours, but that's only because I was doing a lot of side content. But it's too fucking long. Should not be the length of the other games. It should have been like 4 or 5 hours, because the game really outstays its welcome. And there's some times that the game pisses me off, but overall, there's stuff about it I really enjoy, especially the visual novel style cutscenes. I like visual novels, if that wasn't clear by the Danganronpa, like 20-minute Danganronpa ramble I just went on, and the fact that I put Steins Gate as my favorite game story. But I love visual novels, and I really liked the little visual novel cutscenes that were presented in like an old computer game. I actually can do a half-decent impression of the man himself, Travis Touchdown. I'm not going to do it for you, because I'm a little embarrassed. But I remember I had a lot of fun just voicing those cutscenes. And I don't know. It's a good game. Not a very good game, but I like it. And everyone else hates it. And I get why they hate it, but I like it. And I think that if you're willing to look past the obvious flaws, which are obvious, you'll find a game that does have some merit. So let's see, next up here is the opposite, a game I hate but everyone likes. Or in my case, a genre I hate that everyone likes. Fuck MOBAs. Okay, I'm gonna say it. I don't understand MOBAs. I don't understand what's fun about them. I don't like them. I won't play them. If a friend tells me, hey, play a MOBA with me, I won't do it. I would rather lose that friend. No, okay, that's not true. But I don't get it. I don't get what people find fun about these things. And I'm sure that there's game genres that I like. I'm sure there's a lot of people who would take 5 seconds looking at any visual novel and say, what the fuck, this isn't a game, this is a book masquerading as a game. I don't want to play this. That's how I feel about MOBAs. This isn't fun. I don't get the appeal. And I know that it's like, a lot of it is like your team and like the cooperating with your team or whatever and all that stuff. But I don't find the combat fun. I don't enjoy the strategy of it. Look, I'm like a stupid, like, I'm like a ditz, dude. I don't know what the fuck strategy is. Advanced Wars was too intense for me. Like, fucking, like, inventory management takes me like a year. I can't do this shit. I can't do this MOBA shit. To be a little more fair, I personally, it's just not a genre that I would, like my tastes in games. I like platformers. I like, shooters. I like hack and slash games. I like chill, like farming or like life sim games. Those are not really like, none of those are particularly strategy forward games. In fact, none of them are. And any strategy that they have is in the moment strategy, right? Like when you're playing Doom Eternal, obviously there's some strategy involved, but it's more strategy like, okay, like split second, like, I'll freeze those guys. Whoa, jump up. Whoa. It's not really like, it's not like Lelouch, like Code Geass, like, I'm gonna like, bomb this so it causes an avalanche to wipe them out. Kind of like three-dimensional chess kind of thinking. It's like caveman, like, jump high, shoot guy, like, whoa, dodge, like, kind of strategy. That's what I like. I like split second, exhilarating kind of stuff. I'd like to get more into the tactical strategy stuff. I've been meaning to play Fire Emblem for a long time because I feel like if there's any game that's going to be able to get me into strategy, it's Fire Emblem, because it's a bit of a visual novel, a bit of dating sim. Throw that in there along with some strategy game stuff, and maybe you can convince me. Maybe you can turn me to the dark side, right? But for now, I don't get strategy games. Spoiler alert for the rest of my list, there's not a single fucking game on the list that even comes near being a strategy game to any degree. Yeah, not even anything even remotely close to being a strategy game on here. Because I don't have the mind for it. I'm not good at that. I don't do that shit, okay? Sorry. Leave that to someone else. Like, right? Okay, great. So yeah, I don't like MOBAs. There you go. So next is my underrated game, which this one actually tripped me up a little bit because the one before was game you like but everyone hates, and the next one is underrated. So I was kind of confused because I was like, well, isn't that kind of the same thing? And then I thought about it for a second, and a game you like but everyone hates is a game that you understand the flaws and completely like understand them and understand why people would hate it, but you like it anyway, despite those flaws. Underrated, I feel, is more you think that it's like kind of misunderstood and maybe unfairly disliked. And so for me, that game would be Sonic Lost World, which Sonic Lost World, I'm not going to act like it's perfect. I'm not going to act like it's anywhere near the best Sonic game. But what I will say is that Sonic Lost World is a really fun platformer. And I really like it. I think the music is great. I think that the level design is fun. I think that it controls nicely. I think that the story's a bit shit, but I think that overall, I think it's a solid little platformer game. You can play it, you can have a good time, and I think it's a lot better than some of the other Sonic games for sure. Sonic Heroes, shit. Shadow the Hedgehog, shit. Fucking Sonic 06, shit. Sonic Boom, shit. Sonic Colors, not great. Okay, like I'm just saying, Sonic Lost World was unfairly compared to every other Sonic game and hated just because it's different. And I agree that it lost some of its identity. My main point is just I feel like Sonic Lost World was unfairly compared to every other Sonic game and hated just because it wasn't the same. When, if we look at kind of what they did with Sonic Forces and what they did with, like some of the other shittier Sonic games over time, I don't think Sonic Lost World, I think it's sorry, I'm totally losing my train of thought here. You look at how derivative Sonic Forces is and how little it adds and how just not only is it derivative, but it's actively a worse version of a thing that existed better in the past. Is that the definition of derivative? I think it is. Whatever. Point is, Lost World's a fun game that functions, that you can play and you can have a good time with. Forces? I don't know, man. I don't think that I can say that for Forces. So yeah, I like it. And also Sea Bottom Segway, give that shit a listen. That is a good ass song. That track, dude, that makes me tear up. It's good. Maybe I'm a little bit emotional. Maybe I teared up during the Sonic 30th anniversary concert. I'll admit that. But you know what? Sea Bottom Segway, good shit. Anyway. Although I will say, it did piss me off when one of the few Sonic stages in Smash Bros was Windy Hill Zone from Sonic Lost World, because it's so aesthetically similar to Green Hill, which also was in Smash Bros, that kind of pissed me off. I was like, why can't we get like Speed Highway or like Station Square or like Chemical Plant? That would be cool. Chemical Plant? That would be so sick. Or like, Casinopolis. I mean, I could just name a bunch of stages from all sorts of Sonic games that would be cooler. Why not a Sonic Colors stage? For fuck's sakes, right? But that's an unrelated tangent. Just that pissed me off. And plus, even though I like Lost World, it's nowhere near the most iconic. Like, I will completely own up to the fact that Sonic Lost World does not have the attitude that Sonic is known for. It does not have the personality that Sonic is known for. But it's still a solid platformer. And I think that it gets hated on way too much, considering if you actually sit down and play it, it's a lot of fun. Anyway, that's enough of that. That's a game I believe is underrated. But to stay on the topic of Sonic the Hedgehog, which of course there's going to be some Sonic in here. It's me after all. The next one is an overrated game. And you're going to have to bear with me a little bit on this, because you might not know what I'm trying to say at first, but Sonic Unleashed. Okay? So I know what you're probably thinking. Sonic Unleashed, what are you talking about? If anything, that game is underrated. The fact that you said that proves my point. Because everybody says that it's underrated now. Everybody says that it's underrated. But guess what? It's not underrated. It is entirely perfectly rated. Except for the people who say it's overrated, which is now or for the people who say it's underrated, which is now the majority. Okay, I think I'm confusing you. So, in recent years, I keep seeing online discourse with Sonic fans where people are rediscovering Sonic Unleashed as this gem, this incredible game that we overlooked back in the day. That was actually like the best Sonic game ever. And I'm here to say that that's horse shit, okay? Because Sonic Unleashed, when you're playing the daytime stages, I will admit, it is peak boost formula. Other than Sonic Generations. Sonic Generations is still peak boost formula, in my opinion. But other than Sonic Generations, Sonic Unleashed is peak boost Sonic the Hedgehog. And the graphics are fantastic. And the music is unparalleled. Wonderful. Incredible. So much better than it has any right to be. But the game is fundamentally flawed. And people are acting like it was underrated in the first place, but everybody agreed back in the day that the Sonic the Hedgehog daytime stages in Sonic Unleashed were great. Everybody always thought that. But we also all agreed that the nighttime shit was not that good. It was annoying. It went on for way longer than it needed to. And it outstayed its welcome. And it was too shallow gameplay wise to sustain the amount of the game that the music. Once again, the music was great. Those nighttime stages got some good music, but you're trying to jam out to these like great tracks, and then it's like, okay, I like the battle theme the first time I heard it, but fuck, like listen to Dragon Road Night and tell me you'd rather listen to the battle theme than that. That's what I fucking thought. Anyway. Yeah, to me, I think it's weird, this Sonic Unleashed, like, dick stroking that's been happening within the Sonic fan base. I keep seeing it all the time. And I like Sonic Unleashed. But, you know, I was hearing about all this, and I was like, okay, maybe I misremembered, because... you know, I dropped Sonic Unleashed a couple years ago because I just couldn't get into it. But, you know, maybe I was wrong. So I bought it on the Xbox store, which is really cool. They have it on their backwards compatible, and you can actually play it at a stable frame rate. Whoa! And I played it. You know, I played a couple hours of it, and I was like, my feelings on this have not changed at all. Yes, its high points are very high. It's got lots of great qualities, but that does not dismiss the bad things about this game. And there's a lot of bad things about this game, and a lot of really bad repetitive gameplay sections that are obnoxious. And yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna stop myself there, because I could go on about this for hours. The last thing I will say, here's the analogy that I have for Sonic Unleashed that I always go to. Sonic Unleashed is like a nice chicken and rice dinner that has way too much rice in it, okay? Because you're eating it, and it's like, oh, I got some rice, I got my chicken in here, and then you eat the chicken, and it's like, oh man, that chicken, oh, that's so good. It's like tender, it's juicy, it's got some breading on it, but the breading isn't like soggy and gross. The sauce is on it, but the breading is still nice and crisp, and you bite into it, and it's like, oh, delicious. But then there's like only like 3 other pieces of chicken in it, and the rest of it is rice. And it's like, well, I mean, this rice isn't bad, but it's like, it's all rice. Like, why is this all rice? I mean, I don't want rice. I didn't buy rice and chicken. I bought chicken and rice. So I don't know. That's how I feel about Sonic Unleashed. It's a game where both parts of it are technically fine, but there's way too much of the stuff that I don't want. So anyway, yeah. Moving on. The next one is, oh, hey, we're still on the topic of Sonic the Hedgehog. Because the next one is, quote, why do I like this? And that's pretty much my entire feelings for the Sonic franchise summed up. Why do I like it as much as I do? I don't know. Because most of them are not that good. Let's be real, guys. Like, look, I'll defend Sonic all day, but Sonic the Hedgehog is a very uneven franchise. And there's some real stinkers in there. I mean, I can only say, even like my favorite Sonic game, which is probably Sonic Adventure, um, there's still a lot of stuff in there that I just don't like, and won't play. When I go back to play Sonic Adventure, I only really play a couple of the characters because some of them. I mean, dude, I don't want to go fucking fishing with Big the Cat. Okay, sorry. It's and it's like I look at like Big the Cat fishing stages, and I look at like Shadow the Hedgehog, the game Shadow the Hedgehog where he's shooting guns, and I look at like, you know, I look at like the cutscenes in Sonic 06 and Sonic Forces, and I just think to myself, why do I like this? Why is this like so incredibly important to me? I don't know, and I feel like I might have a problem. But yeah, so that's the Sonic franchise summed up. I don't want to keep harping on Sonic because I feel like I've been talking about Sonic for like the past half hour, and I don't and that's the last time Sonic's gonna appear on this list. Kind of funny that three Sonic, the three Sonic entries on the list were all in a row. But so next up is the game you always come back to, which this one was pretty tricky for me. Because a couple games came to mind. First, my mind thought of maybe putting in Animal Crossing, because Animal Crossing is a game that I played a lot in high school. I remember when I would finish my work in a class, I would pull out my 3DS and I'd play some Animal Crossing New Leaf. My character was a girl, despite me totally being totally comfortable as a guy, as totally cisgendered male, who was obsessed with the escapism I could get by playing as a female character in a life sim. But definitely a guy though, is me, so no worries there. But you know, I thought about it a little bit and I was like, you know, Animal Crossing, I'm not as crazy about it as you might assume I would be. Like, I feel like if you look at my taste in games, you would think that I would be like one of those like 5,000 hours in Animal Crossing types of people, right? But I just, honestly, New Horizons, I put about 60 or so hours into it. And that was over, you know, a year or so. That was over quite a long time. And I just, if I can be totally real with you here, the only thing that kept me coming back to Animal Crossing New Horizons every day was just because I wanted to see what they had in the clothes shop. Literally all that mattered to me was just I wanted to have cute outfits. That was literally the entire thing that kept me interested in that game. So I was like, well, shit. I could just as easily put like Style Savvy for the Nintendo 3DS on there at that point, because it's like, you know what I mean? So, which by the way, Style Savvy is an underrated series. Like, check those games out if you have any. If you have any interest in like fashion, and you like some like light management, you know, like light like store management type thing, Style Savvy. I feel like you see Style Savvy on the shelf and you think like, oh, that's like, you know, like one of those Imagine games, like, you know, Ubisoft, like Imagine games, like, oh, girl games, like Imagine Party Babies, or like, you know, Pets, whatever, that kind of shit. But Style Savvy, those games are legitimately very well made, games with a lot of care put into them. So, like I said, check them out. That's not really related to anything on the list. I just, you know, I just felt like I want to try and highlight. That's part of the reason I started the second channel in the first place, is because, you know, I'd like to highlight maybe some more niche games that people haven't given a chance, that I'd like to talk about. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, I threw out Animal Crossing because honestly, not as into it as I'd like to be. And then popped in my head was WarioWare. I love WarioWare. Dude. Let me say it again. I love WarioWare. WarioWare has had a profound effect on me as a person, okay? My sense of humor has been shaped by WarioWare. And I know that sounds stupid as hell, but it's true. I love like absurdist, surreal kind of humor. And WarioWare introduced me to like to that to a degree, I would say. Because I hadn't really most of the comedy I saw was like Family Guy at that point. But WarioWare showed me like just wacky, absurd imagery that's just so weird. And it was like cracked to my brain. I just fucking loved it. And I love the fast-paced gameplay of it. And it's WarioWare is the shit. Play WarioWare. Especially Smooth Moves. Smooth Moves, oh my god. Smooth Moves is so goddamn good. WarioWare Smooth Moves. Sorry, I clapped again. I clap when I get excited, okay? I clap when I'm happy. I'm sorry that it peaks the mic. I can't help it. WarioWare Smooth Moves is so fucking good. But I didn't put it on there because another game popped into my head. One that I have put so much time into over the past decade. And that game is Rhythm Heaven. So, Rhythm Heaven, I bought on a whim when I was with my grandmother at a grocery store. It was they had a little pre-owned game section, and for like $6, they just had Rhythm Heaven in there. And I just picked it up, and I was like, whoa, what's this? And my grandma very, very kindly bought it for me. And, holy shit, what a game. Rhythm Heaven is basically like WarioWare with rhythm. It's like WarioWare, but put to a beat. And it is so addictive. I love it so much. And Rhythm Heaven, I've only played, despite being such a big fan of Rhythm Heaven, I've only played the first one. But I am dedicated to completing it. And that's why it's the game that I always come back to. That's why I decided to put it on here, because I can't think of a single game that I have been dedicated enough to where every like 6 months I'll pick up my DS and I'll just get a little bit closer to that 100% rating, getting more medals, getting more perfect scores on levels and everything, just chipping away at it. Someday when I'm like 28 years old, I will have completed Rhythm Heaven 100%, and it'll be the first game I ever 100% completed. But yeah, so Rhythm Heaven is the game that I always come back to. Rhythm Heaven for the DS specifically. And that's the reason I ultimately did choose it over WarioWare, is because even though I do always come back to WarioWare, I don't come back to the same WarioWare. I'll be like, oh, I want to play some WarioWare. I'm going to play one I haven't played before. Like, I recently played through WarioWare Gold for the 3DS, which was sort of a compilation of all the WarioWare games, sort of a compilation of WarioWare Touched, Twisted, and then the GBA one, Mega Micro Games or whatever it's called. It was the first one, and it was a good time. Yeah. But with Rhythm Heaven, on the other hand, I go back to the original, the OG Rhythm Heaven for the DS, and I play that one. So yeah, Rhythm Heaven, it's the shit. Check it out. Someday I'll have to play Rhythm Heaven Fever, because I hear it's pretty good. So next up is a game with a really nice atmosphere. So there was a lot of contenders here. But the first game that popped into my head is a game that we've discussed today. Resident Evil Remake. Okay, I know that you guys are going, what the fuck? You already told me you're a fake fan. You've already proven how little credibility you have when it comes to talking about the Resident Evil franchise. Fuck off. Get out of here. But listen up, alright? I may not have beaten Resident Evil Remake, but that does not mean that I did not get immersed into that game's atmosphere, because holy shit. Despite being a GameCube game, I still think that is one of the most, like, beautiful games just ever. Just holy shit. I remember when I was younger and I watched the completionist's review of Resident Evil Remake. I thought it was an Xbox 360 game. But that shit was on the GameCube, and just holy shit, that game looks so goddamn good. And it's so, the sound design is on point. The music is so like creepy and subtle, and like the pre-rendered environments have such a wonderful like spooky vibe to them, where you've got like the shadows of like the zombies creeping in, and you've got like the thunder outside the windows, and you've got like these big like awe-inspiring environments, and it's just like such a beautiful game. And I cannot like, I will beat that game soon. I promise you, this Halloween I will finish the game. That is a promise. You can hold me to that. If I don't, I will I don't know. I'll make a detailed review of I don't know. Fucking BL. I'll make a video about BL. How about that? If I don't finish Resident Evil Remake this October, I will make a video about BL. Hold me to that. All right, everybody, hold me to that. On Twitter, you can spam me all day. Okay, all right. But yeah, Resident Evil Remake. Holy shit! It is. I guess when you look at Resident Evil Remake, you think like, how is this a GameCube game? And I think a lot of it was the pre-rendered backgrounds. It's what allowed Resident Evil 1 to look so good on the PS1, and it's what allows Resident Evil Remake to look so good on the GameCube. Because since the environments were pre-rendered, they could just fucking shove polygons into those character models and make them so detailed and so good looking. But yeah, anyway. I don't want to harp on that too long because I've already proven how little credibility I have when it comes to the Resident Evil franchise. But yeah. Another one I considered putting on there was Amnesia, The Dark Descent. Because, really that game speaks for itself. I mean, it's a spooky-ass game. But I was thinking about it, and Resident Evil Remake, it's just so impressive for the console that it was released on that I feel like I think it's so cool what they were able to achieve on the GameCube. And I'm just fascinated by how it's even possible, how it even looks that good. Yeah. The next one is a Bad Day Cure. And a lot of games came to mind. Animal Crossing, once again. Stardew Valley. Gotta love Stardew Valley. Puts a smile on your face. And then, games that I enjoy for more personal. I said personal. Games that I enjoy for more personal reasons, like Sonic Adventure could be one. Or even like Doom Eternal. Because, when I have a shit day, sometimes I just want to take out all that rage on like demons, and just rip the eyes out of their sockets and punch them and shoot them. But I ended up going with Yoshi's Island, because Yoshi's Island is not only is it like just so cute, it's so cute, but also it's a childhood game. I remember when I was younger, I don't even know where I saw it, but I saw Yoshi's Island in a video of some kind. I don't know what video, where I found this video, but I'm assuming the internet, but what the fuck am I even saying that for? Something about it was just like, I had to try this game. I had to get this game. I guess I just thought it was adorable, because it's fucking adorable. It's so cute. Oh my god. But I ended up just kind of like compromising and getting, I really wanted the DS one, because Yoshi's Island DS, it was on the DS, and the DS, I mean, come on, it was the coolest thing at the time. I'd wipe my ass with my DS if I could. Like, that thing is so cool. I mean, you can do anything with it. You can take pictures. You make little drawings. I don't know what I'm talking about. But fortunately, actually, fortunately, I did get what I thought was a compromise. The Game Boy Advance port of Yoshi's Island, which was I believe Super Mario Advance 3. I think yeah, Mario Advance 3 is what it was, and Mario Advance was a line of I guess you could say enhanced, but I don't know if they were really enhanced, ports of the some of the best Mario games, 2D Mario games. They started with Mario 3, then they did Mario World, and then they did Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, which isn't really Mario World 2, but who gives a shit? If anything, it's Mario prequel, but whatever. Yeah, the only real way that those were enhanced was they had an added Mario, like, original, like, Mario Bros. Minigame, and by original Mario Bros, I mean, like, you know, the Koopas going along, and you, like, hit them from the thing underneath, and then you, like, flip their shells over. That Mario Bros, the one that nobody likes and nobody remembers fondly, and nobody acknowledges. But yeah, so that was my first experience with Yoshi's Island, and I loved it. I loved how cute it was. I loved the graphics. I loved the music. Holy shit, the soundtrack. And going back and playing it recently, it was like a warm blanket. It's such a cozy game. And it's a fun ass platformer too. It's got the egg mechanic, shitting out eggs and throwing them at guys. Fucking great. But I was thinking about it and I was like, there is no way that anybody could possibly be upset while playing this game. Like, nobody could possibly have a bad day while playing Yoshi's Island. And so Yoshi's Island, I think that is the true definition of a bad day killer. And plus, as if this list wasn't gay enough, I had to put a Yoshi on there, right? Because apparently gay people like Yoshi. I don't know, as my friend told me. I don't know. You ask her, not me. Okay, favorite protagonist is next up. This one was easy. Immediately, Travis Touchdown. I already talked about No More Heroes on this list before. Travis Touchdown. He's great. He's such a douchebag. He's so unlikable. But that's what we like about him. He's such a douchebag. He thinks he's the hot shit. He's not. He's a depressing, lonely weirdo who likes anime and likes lollies and caresses his weird poster. And he is such a dickhead, but I love him so much. And I wouldn't trade him for the world. I don't know. There's just something about him. He's just got something to him where I can't take my eyes off him. I find him so profoundly ridiculous that I just get such a kick out of it. I love him. I love him. I especially in No More Heroes 1. After No More Heroes 1, No More Heroes 2, I think they tried to make him a little bit too, like, actually cool. Cause he's like, oh, some people fuck at funerals. I chop off heads. Whoa. And I'm just like, okay, well, you're trying to make him legitimately cool. But that's not why I liked him. I liked him because he was a dork. I think my favorite quote from him in the entire series is just when Henry like steals his kill and he just gets so pissed off. I'll play the clip right here.
That's fucked up. That's the stupidest rule I've ever heard. Hey! He's gone! Mr. Sir Henry motherfucker, he just jetted. What a pussy.
Isn't that just wonderful? He's so fucking profane. And he's so loudmouthed and he's so obnoxious, and I live for it. It's so fun. And he also has a nice little character arc throughout the series. Travis Strikes Again really highlights how he is more than just a dorky weeb. He's got layers to him, and he does have remorse. And yeah, so I don't know. I don't think I really have much more to say about Travis Touchdown. He's just a great protagonist. And I love him. I love the man, even though he's a massive chode. Okay, so next up is after work relaxation. Now, I don't have a job, but I do enjoy relaxing. So, I chose Stardew Valley as my after work relaxation game because really, it's the perfect game to choose for that. I mean, look, I know it's definitely a normie pick. Like when you get to after work relaxation, they're either gonna pick Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing. And I already talked about how I have sort of a little bit of a mixed feeling towards Animal Crossing, outside of the fashionista aspect, of course, because you know me. But I went with Stardew Valley over Animal Crossing, mostly just because Stardew Valley has that dating sim aspect, and I'll admit it, I like dating sims. I like that shit. That's shoot me. Actually, don't shoot me, please don't shoot me, please. But I do enjoy that kind of stuff. And I like not even necessarily dating sims, just games where you get to just hang out with people and talk to characters and get to know these people. And that's something that Stardew Valley does really well, is just getting to know the characters, and getting to hang out with them and get a window into their lives as they sort of warm up to you and open up to you and everything. And that's my favorite part of Stardew Valley. The farming is great too. I love planting the crops and harvesting them and digging them up and making like little foods out of them and then giving them to people. And I like rooting through those people's trash and then finding stuff and then giving it to other people, and they don't know that gift that I gave them came from the trash, and they like it anyway. And then people find me and they get mad at me for rooting through their trash, even though it's their trash. I don't know why they want it, because they threw it out, so finders keepers. It's great. Stardew Valley is a good time. I highly recommend it. But everyone's played Stardew Valley by now. Like I said, it's definitely a normie pick. Funny little anecdote. My brother introduced me to one of his friends on Discord, and he was like, what kind of games do you play? And I was like, well, I've been playing Stardew Valley a lot recently. And he's like, the only people I know who play Stardew Valley are gay people and women. And I was like, shit, I might be both of those things. And this is before I was like, actually like, coming to terms with like, being trans and all that kind of stuff. But it was definitely funny. It was definitely like a funny little like egg moment for me. And yeah. And once again, as if the list wasn't gay enough, it just got a little bit gayer. So that's nice. Moving on. Our next pick is for the most disappointing game, the biggest letdown. And immediately my mind immediately knew. It's Brink. It's Brink. And you know what? You're probably scratching your head right now. You probably don't know what Brink is, because nobody remembers Brink, because nobody should remember Brink, because Brink was a fucking stupid disappointment. It sucked. I remember seeing this trailer for Brink back in the day, and it was like this. It was like, oh, they're doing parkour and they're shooting each other, and it's like you can create your own character and like all this shit. And I was like, this game looks so cool, and it had like destructible environments. Literally, 2012. I'm not sure when Brink came out, but 2012. Like me and my brother, if your game had destructible environments, guns, and parkour, like, sign me the fuck up. That sounds like sick as hell, right? And then we got the game. We rented the game from the video store when it came out. And after like 20 minutes, we were just like, what is this? what the fuck am I playing? This is so generic and like boring and like not at all what I was expecting it to be. And I can't remember a lot of times playing a game that I've just been totally underwhelmed. But Brink is one situation where I just remember so clearly the feeling of disappointment that I had playing that game. And I went back a couple years ago to try it again just to kind of see, like, what was it I hated so much about this game? You know, maybe it's a little better than I remember. And, you know, having that distance, not having all those expectations, I think I was able to appreciate some of the positive aspects a little bit more. Like, it's a game. You can play it. It works. It's, like, technically fine, I guess. But it's really just, it's nothing to write home about. And it's a shame, too, because it really did seem promising based on the trailers. So, yeah, Brink. Brink. Kind of a piece of shit. Anyway, moving on. Back in the day. Okay, so back in the day game. So a couple did come to mind. Mortal Kombat Armageddon came to mind because I remember Mortal Kombat Armageddon was a game that me and my brother would play a lot. We would make our characters. He would play the conquest mode and I would watch, and you would play as, like, what was his name? I fucking, like, was it like Tane? Like, I think it was Tane. Was his name Tane? Hold on, what the hell was his name? I feel like it was Tane. Or like Sean. Oh my god, a moth just flew in my face. I don't know what his name was. It doesn't matter. He was so forgettable. He was like this stupidest forgettable character. But I thought he was like really cool for some reason. I thought this guy was like sick as hell. I was like, this guy's cool. This guy, he knows what's up. But yeah, playing it again now, it's like, I wouldn't say it's terrible, but I mean, even calling it mid would probably be really generous. It's a pretty weak Mortal Kombat game. I mean, especially if you look at MK11 and like current stuff like that. Armageddon is just weak. It is weak. All the characters play pretty much the same. The fatality system is just stupid. The conquest mode is kind of fun, but also Taven. His name was Taven. It was Taven. I'm glad I remembered that. Taven. But you know what? You know what Mortal Kombat Armageddon did have? It had a kart racing mode. And honestly, that's really cool that they just put a kart racing mode in there. And I wish that they would do stuff like that nowadays, because I feel like the PS2 Mortal Kombat era was definitely the dark age of Mortal Kombat. There's no denying that. But because Midway was kind of shifting from being basically an arcade focused company, like entirely for the most part. That's where all of their profits were. To seeing arcades shutting down and being like, oh shit, we gotta start making console games. We gotta start giving people like heavy hitting games on the consoles, because their entire operation was focused on delivering experiences that catered to the arcade. But if you take an arcade game and you just port it straight to the console, people are gonna get bored of that shit like quick, especially in the PS2 days. So I feel like they would really try and pack a lot of value into those PS2 Mortal Kombat games, because they knew that people would get sick of a game if they knew that just a simple arcade level of, like, a simple arcade amount of content would not be enough value for people to want to spend their money on. And the Mortal Kombat license was quickly losing its kind of like cachet too. because stuff like Tekken was around, kind of being like it was the main shit at that point. Like that was people were all about their Tekken. But I feel like because of that, yeah, they would put in like a shit ton of characters. They'd put in a lengthy campaign. They'd put in like stupid little extra modes, like, you know, like a cart. What was it even called? Immortal cart. Mortal Kart. I don't fucking know. And nowadays, all games are lacking in content. No game has any content because they just want to sell you the content later or give it to you later so that you'll keep playing the game. Bitch, I keep playing the game if you gave me shit to do in the game from the start. Halo Infinite. Oh, I'm gonna put in the campaign like a year after the game comes out, and I'm gonna put in the campaign like 2 months after the game comes out, and then put in the co-op literally like a year later, and launch it with like 3 multiplayer maps and like 2 fucking modes, and no like oddball. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. Halo Infinite pisses me the fuck off, but that's not the point. The point is, I didn't even know why I just went on that tangent about Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Holy shit. The game that I chose was a different fighting game. The game that I chose was Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Because Super Smash Bros. Brawl was fun. I just have so many memories playing that game, both with friends and alone. I played the entire what was it called? Subspace Emissary. I unlocked every single character. I would go through and like pick the songs that I liked the most that would play. And I think that started my like weird obsession with like video game music. This is going through and listening to all the music from the game. It's still one of the best soundtracks in games, by the way. Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I would play it with my friends. I would role play as the characters with my friends while playing the game. I love Super Smash Bros. Brawl. It's just such a good time. It had so many nice little extra features. Like you could look at the trophies. You could create your own stages. They had like little like history entries about like all the different characters. They had like little demos you could play, even though those demos only lasted like 2 minutes. Oh, play Star Fox 64 for 1 minute. Oh great, I got to blast one enemy because the opening cutscene's like 2 minutes long. But Brawl was just so fun. And the Smash Bros. Series in general, I mean, I couldn't play Melee because our copy of Melee was actually broken. So I only got as far as playing the opening stage of the adventure mode. But you know, Brawl, that was my first time just really getting invested into a Smash Bros. Game, and I probably put hundreds of hours into it. And I remember pulling like all-nighters fighting my brother and my friends, and man, I love Brawl, and I love Smash Bros. In general. I'm not a fighting game fan by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not good at them. I love to be. When I learned about Bridget in BlazBlue Strive, Guilty Gear Strive. I get those mixed up, BlazBlue and Guilty Gear. Since I'm a free thinker, I immediately was like, holy shit, trans character, and downloaded BlazBlue, or no, Guilty Gear. I, as much as I wanted to get into it, I just couldn't. I'm not really that good at fighting games. I'm not cut out for it. I'm sorry. But Smash Bros, it just clicks with me. I love Smash Bros. Brawl is just, it's one of those games that just takes you back to a simpler time. Anyway, moving on. Our next game, and this is actually in the last row, so not the best, but having fun in quotation marks. And I think this is another one of those that's sort of gets mixed up to me with like you like what everyone hates and underrated and not the best but having fun. All of those kind of feel like they're in the similar realm to me. But regardless, the one that I ended up going with was Ratatouille for the PS2. Because it's a game that it's like it is surprisingly good. Like it's a solid little platformer that you can have a lot of fun with. But, you know, it's obviously not the best. Like it's not a classic game by any means. And it's not reinventing the wheel or doing anything particularly great. It's just a fun little platformer. But, you know, it's for a movie licensed game, that's all it really needs to be. I have a special love of a game where any game where you're playing as a little character walking around a familiar environment, seeing it from the perspective of like a tiny little character, that I love it so much. I don't know why, but like Toy Story 2 for the PS1, Army Men Sarge's Heroes 1 and 2, and Ratatouille for the PS2. It's something about seeing familiar environments as a tiny little creature just warms my heart. It's so cool. It's like, oh, I so desperately want to go to that one theme park where you're in like the house and everything is like really big and you're tiny. I would love that. Oh my god, that would be like I don't know why. I would love that. That'd be so cool to me. Like I want to be like the Indian in the cupboard, you know? And yeah, Ratatouille is just like a platformer where you play as a little creature, you know? What more could you want? Yeah, it's not the best, but it's damn fun. And it's also another childhood game. But, you know, yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say. I don't really have a huge ramble to go on this time, because it's just Ratatouille. It's not like there's some great history to it. It's just fucking Ratatouille. So, moving on. Criminally Overlooked. So this is a game that, and this is another one where I'm like, okay, you like a game you like what everyone hates, a game that's a game that's underrated, a game that's not the best but you're having fun with, a game that's overlooked. These are all very similar things, right? Like it was a little confusing to my like little peanut brain, but I tried my best. And to me, a criminally overlooked game is not a game that's disliked by any stretch of the imagination, or you know, anything like that. So it wouldn't be considered underrated, but it's just a game that just a lot of people don't talk about, regardless of what the critical reception is. And to me, I did actually choose. My first pick was Red Steel 2. The first thing that popped in my head, Red Steel 2. Red Steel 2, such a cool game, such a unique game. The whole aesthetic of it is really cool. And unique, and it actually makes really good use of motion controls too, which is rare, especially for an action game. If you're gonna implement motion controls in your action game, it's like, I mean, that's risky as hell right there, but it really works for that game. Switching seamlessly between swordplay and gunplay feels really good, and you really do feel like you get a lot of precision from the Wii Motion Plus, and Red Steel 2 is actually one of the few games that properly utilizes the Wii Motion Plus. Red Steel 2 I would say would be a runner-up for the Overlooked, but I actually had to replace Red Steel 2 because immediately another game popped in my head, and I was like, oh shit, that's the one. And that game is Tokyo Jungle. Tokyo Jungle is so cool. Tokyo Jungle is such a cool concept for a game. You're in a post-apocalyptic Tokyo that has been taken over by like this sort of overgrown nature. It's such a beautiful looking thing. I mean, the game graphically is a little bit limited, but the environments themselves look wonderful. It's sort of a beautiful kind of version of the post-apocalypse where you've got this interesting mishmash of man-made environments with sort of a natural like nature like overgrowing on this man-made environments, and it's beautiful, and it's a version of the post-apocalypse that I think we're seeing. It's becoming I see that in movies and media more, and like desktop wallpapers that you can get. And Tokyo Jungle, I think, was an earlier example of kind of seeing that. That I can think of anyway. Well, maybe not. I'm sure that there's some old book or something that pioneered that a billion years ago. But all I know is Tokyo Jungle is the first time I saw it. And just aside from that, you've got... I mean, the basic concept for the game is just... Yeah. Post-apocalyptic Tokyo overtaken by nature. And you've got wild animals and domesticated animals just battling it out for survival in this sort of like circle of life. Like... Also, there's fucking dinosaurs for some reason. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know the lore, but there's fucking dinos, so that's sick. I mean, dinos are just, you can't go wrong with some cool dinos. But, yeah, you've just got, it's just so cool. It's so cool. And it's like it's just a fun-ass game, too. It's a nice little survival game. It's not too deep mechanically. Pretty much you go around, you find food, you try and survive, you fuck, to pass on your lineage to the next generation, and then you play as your kids, and you just try to survive for as long as possible and make as much progress as you can. And it's such an addictive, fun gameplay loop. And as you progress, you unlock more and more animals. You start as just a cute little Pomeranian going around doing your best. And it is really funny to see a Pomeranian fighting a lion. Like, that's just so dumb. But it's so cool at the same time. And it's also multiplayer. You can play it multiplayer locally, which I highly recommend if you're going to play it. It's fun alone, but if you're going to play it, I would highly recommend getting a friend, because it's just so... Really, there's no game like it. There's no game quite like it. There's a lot of roguelike games, and there's a lot of like survival-y kind of games, but no game has just that vibe that game has. And it's got a nice sense of humor to it as well. It's just such a cool game, and nobody talks about it. And it's so sad too, because it's just stuck on the PS3. It was a downloadable only game, not even a physical release. For the PS3. It wasn't even on PC or Xbox 360 or anything else. It was exclusively a PS3 game, and it's just stuck on that console. And it's sad too, because I wanted to play it with my brother the other day. I was like, dude, you remember Tokyo Jungle? You want to play it? And he was like, yes. So I came over to his house, and I was like, okay, let me buy it on the PlayStation Store real quick. And like, the PlayStation Store, little side tangent here, you can't just go onto the PS3 store and add funds. You have to log onto your PS4 or like your phone and add funds on there. And then you can use it on your account on the PS3. It's bullshit. It's so dumb. I don't get it. Is there a reason why that is easier than just letting me add funds straight through my PS3? I mean, I genuinely don't know. Maybe it is like cheaper server side, but it pisses me off a little bit, because a lot of people still have PS3s. Probably a lot of people still use them too. But yeah, Tokyo Jungle, holy shit, such a fun game. If you can find a way to play it on the PS3, or you have a computer good enough to emulate it, I cannot recommend it enough. And I want everybody to please just pray that maybe someday we'll get a port to modern consoles, or maybe even a sequel. Ooh, I would just... Dream come true. Dream come true if that happened. But it won't happen. But it might. But if it does, ooh, I'm gonna freak out. I will cry. I probably will shed a tear if that does happen. So next up, speaking of shedding a tear, the next one is the depressing game. So the first thing that came to my mind was actually Majora's Mask, the Zelda game, because it's a depressing ass game. I do scare easily, but I don't have crises easily. Majora's Mask gave me a bit of a crisis. There's something about looming fear of the world ending. Like, there's a movie called Finding a Friend. I think it's called Finding a Friend for the End of the World, or something like that. Seeking a Friend for the End of the... I'm not entirely sure, but it's got fucking shit. What's his name? Not Ben Stiller. Not Will Ferrell. Not Tony Hale. Not Will Arnett. Not Jason Bateman. Now I'm just naming the cast of Arrested Development. Shit. Who's the guy from The Office? Steve Carell. Yeah, it's Steve Carell in it. And that movie freaked me out. Because it's just a movie about the world is ending and everybody knows it's ending, but they're still kind of going about their daily lives. And that's just so existentially scary to me. Like the idea of living your normal life with full knowledge that the world will end in a couple days. Like, that gets under my skin for some reason. I'm not entirely sure what it is about it. But Majora's Mask does a great job of showing that exact scenario. Because you get to see firsthand a small town's reaction to looming death. And you get to see the way that they kind of go from really, really, like, in denial about it to just cowering and, like, just crying and just coming to terms with the fact that their lives are going to end. And that fucked with me. When I was a little bit younger, I really, that just, I don't know, that just, it really made me feel really uncomfortable. Like, genuinely really uncomfortable. And even to this day, I was playing it more recently, and that opening act, it gets under your skin, and it makes you feel really uncomfortable. And so, to me, I think that that's just, the fact that it's a kid's game, too, I think that gives it some extra points, too. But, you know, I didn't want to go with Majora's Mask because I haven't beaten it yet. And so, I didn't want to put it on my list if I didn't know exactly the way the story progressed. Because it's like, I can put Resident Evil on here even though I haven't beat it as, like, the atmospheric game. Because it's like, I can play the game and just know from the first 10 minutes that it's got atmosphere to spare. But, like, you know, I didn't exactly know how the story went, and I feel like a big hand in saying what a depressing game would be, you know, the story. And so, a game that I have beaten all the way that has a depressing-ass story that I also love and had to put on the list somewhere is Nier Automata. Or is it Nier Automata? Nier Automata. Nier Automata. Nier Automata? Nier Automata. Nier Automata. Nier Automata. Nier Automata? Nier Automata. Nier Automata. Nier Automata. Nier Automata. There's no way I can say it that doesn't sound weird. I'm just gonna call it Nier. We're just gonna call it Nier from here on out because I feel self-conscious to continue saying it, no matter how I say it. So I decided to put on Nier because Nier, once again, just preface this by saying, amazing soundtrack. Holy shit. Probably the best soundtrack of any game we've discussed so far, honestly. Like, I mean, No More Heroes has some bangers that'll get you moving and, like, wanting to cut people up and become number one. But and you know what? And Sonic will have some tunes that'll want to make you fucking go on a run and just, like, you know, jump in the air but Nier, the Nier soundtrack, you'll shed a tear. Nier will make you shed a tear. Because damn, dude, it just hits. The Song of the Ancients just fucking hits, dude. It hits different. Like, you will shed a tear. I swear to God. Like, if you don't cry, you're not a human. Quite frankly, if you don't cry at the song, you're not a human. I don't know why I turned into Trump. I love Nier. No, we're not doing a Trump impression. That's not happening. Look, I'm not doing that. But even though I already did. But yeah, I just want to say Nier has a great soundtrack. I really love the soundtrack of Nier. I think everybody does, but I just wanted to put it out there. Fucking Nier's a very depressing game. You know, there's a lot of reasons it's depressing, and you know, if I go into the whole story of it and everything, it's gonna I mean, we're gonna be here all night because it's complicated, but I think just the main thing I want to point out that I always go to when I'm trying to convince people to, like, check out Nier is one of my favorite things about the game is just the way that they recontextualize the way you think of like grunt, like cannon fodder enemies in games, like your Goombas, or you know you're just like grunts, in Halo or anything like that. Because in Nier they have characters like that, these little robots who run around and they're fucking adorable, and I love them and I want to have them, but they are not mine. They're fucking dead because I've killed thousands of them, probably. Sorry. But yeah, they're these little cute little robots, and you beat the shit out of them, you kill them, you genocide them essentially, and like throughout the course of the game, you're told that these robots are cold, unfeeling creatures, and we're androids, which are different from robots, because we're robots that kind of like look like humans and stuff, and those are just like robots, and those are different. Those guys suck. And then you kind of see throughout the game that these guys, they're not just little grunts with no emotions or feelings or anything like that. Like they do feel, and there's some of them that are friendly to you and nice to you. Like you meet the all the robots at the robot like little camp with Pascal, and like the music there is wonderful. I'll play it right now. It's playing in the background right now. But yeah, so you meet them at this little hideout, and they're nice, cool little guys. And then later on, you find a robot cult, literally a robot cult, where there's like the like leader ones, and they're saying like, oh, if you die and you like, you die and kill yourself and like die in this battle and everything, you will. It's almost like Valhalla, right? With the Vikings, where you die, and you'll go to like this greater, like higher existence, and you'll become gods, right? And so you have this part in the game where there's just hordes of these little grunt robots who you've been killing without remorse. I almost said remorselessly, which I don't think is a word. That would have been embarrassing. Sorry. Look, it's a little late. I'm not the best at articulating my points in general. Add on some tiredness to that, it's gonna be a little rocky, but stick with me, okay? You're like a remorseless killer of these little robot dudes. And then now you've just got hordes of them coming at you being like, we will become gods, and they're like, and you're murdering them in droves. But then it gets even sadder, because you find these little robots who are cowering in these rooms and are just like, I don't want to die. Like, I've changed my mind about this. Like, I don't want to die. It's fucked up. It's sad. It's really depressing. And I cannot put into words how much respect I have for them making me have such an emotional attachment to what are essentially just the Goombas of this game. And I think it's also interesting too, because it like recontextualizes the way that I think about those characters in general, like those little enemies. Like, it's such a common gaming trope, the grunt enemy that you kill in one hit, and the fact that Nier turned them into such a tragic thing is just like, I respect it a lot. And it's just one of many depressing things you'll find in the Nier franchise. Fantastic game. I love it. One of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites. It's not my favorite. Spoiler, it's not my favorite. But it's definitely up there, and I recommend it so freaking highly. Next up, we're in the home stretch here, folks. Only 4 more of these to go. Next up is favorite active franchise. Which, means favorite ongoing gaming franchise. Which, I didn't really have to think about it long. I just asked myself the simple question, what's a game franchise that if they came out with a new entry tomorrow, you would immediately go and buy it without hesitation? Immediately, Doom came to mind, and Wolfenstein. And yes, I know it's technically cheating to put 2 game franchises in there, but they're both so interconnected and similar, and their origins are so intertwined, of like how they were created, and just the general design of them are so similar that I love them both equally in my head. And I didn't have any Wolfenstein rep on the list so far, so I wanted to put it in there somewhere, because man, Wolfenstein: The New Order I love the New Order so much. New Colossus was pretty good too. Not as good as New Order, but still really good time, I thought. Especially the part where you visit Hitler's base and he pisses in a bucket. That was sick. It was actually sick, as in like disgusting. Like I wanted to vomit, but it was also sick, as in that's cool. That's fucking radical. Old man pissing in a bucket, sign me up. But yeah, those are two series that, as long as they make new entries, I will always buy them and I will always play them and I will probably always enjoy them because there's just something about them that just works for me. It just clicks in my head. I love a good boomer shooter. I'll admit it. And those are the kings. Those are the undisputed kings of the boomer shooter, and they're fun and they're fucking cool. Shout out to Blood though as well, the game Blood, not the thing that comes out of people when they get shot. Blood is another one of those classic boomer shooters, and it's got a really nice spooky aesthetic. It's a great one to play around Halloween if you're looking for a game with a spooky kind of like horror-y atmosphere. That maybe isn't your usual like Resident Evils or Silent Hills. Something that's a little bit more fun and actiony. I would say Blood is a really good pick. Not Blood 2 though. Blood 2 is a piece of shit. Blood 1, good time. And there's even a port, I think, on modern consoles. Blood Fresh Supply. It's called Blood Fresh Supply. It's a wonderful remaster. Yeah, Blood is a build engine FPS. I'm not gonna go off. I'm not gonna go off on that tangent right now. We're already at 2 hours. Jesus Christ. I will say I think I do like Doom more. The gameplay of Doom is just really fun, but I really like the story of Wolfenstein, and I love the setting of it. There's so much great shit about both franchises, and they're both in really good spots right now too, which helps. Maybe if this was 10 years ago, with the state of the franchise, I mean, I was 9, so I probably wouldn't be able to talk this long about anything without sounding like a complete idiot, because clearly I sound like a real intellectual right now. But yeah, the current state of both franchises is very good. They're in a very good spot, and I'm genuinely really excited to see where both of them go. And quick side note, Wolfenstein from 2009, the reboot, that one does not get talked about as much. But it's also a really good time. I remember really enjoying it back in the day. I haven't played it in a long time, granted. I definitely should give it another shot soon to see if it's as good as I remember. But I remember that being a good ass time. A lot of people have kind of like overlooked it, and I think it even kind of has like a more negative reception. But I remember that being I remember it being pretty good. I remember it being a really good time. So, yeah, I'll have to give that another shot. But yeah, I just wanted to have a quick side note to say that because, yeah, Wolfenstein franchise. One thing I will say though, you can go back and you can play Doom 1 and you can still have a really good time. I don't feel the same way about Wolfenstein 3D. Wolfenstein, I don't like Wolfenstein 3D. I'll just put it out there. Wolfenstein 3D is archaic. There's a lot of old games I can play. I can still play Ocarina of Time and say this is aged pretty well, I think. Wolfenstein 3D is not one of those games I can go back. Like I have a pretty good tolerance for this stuff, I think. For some jank. Like Wolfenstein 3D, I'm just not willing to put up with level design that primitive. It's just not fun, dude. It's just not fun. It's literally just a maze. With nothing compelling about the aesthetic of it or like anything like that. It's just bullshit. I hate it. But the franchise went in some really good places afterward. Return to Castle Wolfenstein I haven't really played that much of, but what I did play was really fun. It's just a great series. They're both great series. You gotta play them. Why have you not played them yet? Why have you not played them right now? Anyway, moving on. Indie pick. Okay. So, big surprise here. You guys, you're going to freak out. Your jaws will drop to the ground. Your tongues will roll out. Your eyes will bulge out of your head. Because, shockingly, my indie pick is Celeste. I know. Like, what are the odds? Isn't that insane? Like, who could have expected that? That me, I picked Celeste. I I don't know. I can't think of any reason that I would have done that, but I did. No, but all jokes aside, Celeste is a wonderful game for a lot of reasons. First of all, it's fun. It's just, I love, you've got the challenging platformers, right? Like Super Meat Boy, which was another one I thought about putting on there, but obviously it was Celeste, because, trans. But fucking butt fucking. Again, I've said butt fucking again. But when it comes to the really frustrating 2D platformers, it's really easy to fuck them up and just make them really, really frustrating. Because with the difficulty, right, when you're marketing your game as really difficult, the first place my mind jumps to is like Cat Mario, or I Want to Be the Guy, or that kind of shit. Kaizo Mario, perfect example. Kaizo Mario can burn in hell. Quite frankly, fuck that game. Fuck the modder who made it, quite frankly. And by that I mean I hope his love life is prosperous. Unless he's like asexual, in which case, I hope it's not prosperous for his sake, because he probably doesn't want to. Right? If he's not even a man, I genuinely know nothing about the person who made that. I just hate Kaizo Mario. Okay, Kaizo Mario can suck penis and eat rotten food. Because I don't like that kind of difficulty where it's just like not even fun. And Celeste, I felt, was a perfect difficulty, because it's like Meat Boy pissed me off. I liked Meat Boy. I liked Super Meat Boy a lot, and I feel like a real gamer now that I finished it too. But that game pissed me off, and I'm not eager to replay that anytime soon. But like Celeste, the idea of going through and replaying that again, I don't mind that. I could totally do that. I could totally pick up Celeste and give it another playthrough and enjoy myself. Because even though it's really difficult, it never got so bad that I wanted to like scream at my console. Right? I never wanted to throw my Nintendo Switch down a well. I just had a couple moments where, maybe I had to shut the game off for a minute, take some deep breaths, have some water, have a nice cup of water, sip some water, and move on with my day. But like, a lot of hard games don't have that going for them. And then, so there's that aspect of it, right? Just a fun ass game. But also the story, obviously. And Madeline, it's like a trans kind of story, right? And also kind of a mental health story and all that stuff. And obviously that's something that hits home a lot for me. And so in that way, I feel almost like I would be I would be doing a disservice if I didn't choose it as my indie pick. It wouldn't be on brand, and also it genuinely is just my indie pick. It's such a nice allegory for like being trans. Like, you really do feel sometimes like it's just such an insurmountable thing. And you feel like there's so many things holding you back from doing what you want to do. And so just seeing Madeline like take a deep breath and just collect herself and just push through it and be happy and make it through and everything's okay. It's such a positive thing. It's such a positive message. And it's such a wonderful game. Props to the folks who put it together. And once again, the game OST got a great soundtrack to it, especially the part where you're climbing with when you finally get Dark Madeline. It's like the last stage. That's such a good song. I love that one. The way it, like, every time you get to like you soar through the clouds and you get up to like a higher plane, and you and the music gets a little bit like more kind of like triumphant. In that moment when you reach the top of the mountain, honestly, I shed a tear. I did. I did. I got really emotional because it's such a it's a moment that's played so it's such a subdued moment. You know, it's not like this. It's not like there's like they don't they don't feel the need to make it any more impactful than it already is on its own, right? They just let you reach the top and just take in the view on your own. And I just it felt so, I don't know, it felt like such a real accomplishment. And I don't know, such a great game. You gotta it's one of those games that it's like I really feel like everybody should check that game out because it's just a nice brisk little game that you can play, and and even if you're not trans, it can speak to you just as like a mental health allegory. Um and yeah, lovely game. Play it, please. So yeah, moving on. So this one is not usually my thing, but and I was like, okay, are there any tactical games that I like? Are there any strategy games that I like? I thought about it. Literally no, there's none. There's literally none. I don't like any strategy games. So I was like, shit, well, I guess I'm not choosing one of those then. So I thought about the next best thing. What in terms of genres I don't traditionally play much, and immediately I was like, oh shit, Outrun 2, specifically Outrun 2006, Coast to Coast. Now, I wouldn't say I'm like, I dislike racing games by any stretch of the imagination. I actually really like them. But I usually get bored of them pretty quick. And I am very picky as well. For example, simulation racing games, I just plain don't like. They're just not fun to me. I don't give a shit about like actual cars. I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. Big surprise. I just went off about like 20 minutes about how Celeste is like a great allegory for being trans and all that stuff. I'm not really into cars. So, you know, I don't care about any of that shit. I like arcadey racers, like Burnout. To me, the best racing franchise is definitely Burnout. And I did think about putting Burnout on here, in this slot, but I ultimately went with Outrun 2 because that game just sucks me in. That sounds a little weird. That game just grabs me by the balls and doesn't let go. Like, something about playing Outrun 2 just it's like hypnotism. It's like I pick up the controller and like 7 hours pass. I'm like, holy shit. And also, I know I sound like a broken record, but holy shit. The soundtrack in Outrun 2, oh my god. Outrun has always had really good music, but Outrun 2 has these like wonderful remixes of all these classic songs. And especially the Eurobeat versions. Holy shit. Oh my god, they are so good. The Eurobeat versions, it's like bow, 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 bow. Pew 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 pew. I'm done. I'm not gonna keep. That was bad. That was very out of key. That was very off key. My voice hurts. I don't usually talk for 2.5 hours at a time. Give me some slack here. Jesus Christ. You're such a prick. I'm sorry. You're not a prick. I love you. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, Mama. I didn't mean to hurt you. Oh no, my video just got copyright striked. Fuck. Anyway, let's talk about Outrun 2. Idiot. Outrun 2 is I love the little gimmick of just at the end of the track, you either go right or you either go left. You know, you pick right or left. And depending on which way you choose, you get a different stage. That adds so much replay value. And it makes every run feel unique. And that's the reason I think I'm able to lose hours in Outrun 2. And also, the drifting mechanic is so satisfying. Like, you can, like, drifting around a whole corner. I'm probably going to go play Outrun 2 after I finish recording. So fun. Holy shit, I love it so much. And it usually isn't my kind of thing. I like I do enjoy playing Burnout here and there, but I'll be honest, I don't like the racing part of Burnout. I like the part where you crash the cars into the wall and you get to see them explode. I like that part. I would not like Burnout if you didn't get to watch the cars explode. But Outrun 2, it doesn't have cars exploding. It just has cars driving, and I still like it. And I think that's the ultimate thing that's interesting about it, is like it's a racing game that I like that is not focused around cars exploding. And so, yeah, for that reason, it's the game that is not usually my thing, but this one's pretty good. So, oh shit, guys, that's it. We're on the last one. My most favoritist game of all time. Well, okay. I know that once I say it, everyone is going to be like, wow, basic bitch, fuck you, I hate you, unsubscribed, unliked, uncommented. But look, I got to be honest with myself here, okay? And I got to stay true to myself and what I believe. And to me, the game that I can always pick up and play through and always have a good time, and the game that I played through start to finish more than any other, and the game that I'm always in the mood to play is Mario 64. Okay, I know you're gonna say, oh, what? Oh, you're trying to be like, oh, you're trying to get brownie points with like pro gamers and blah. Mario 64 sucks. Mario 64's aged poorly. The camera's shit. It's not fun anymore. You suck. I hate you. Burn in hell. But look, I don't know what it is, because I'm fully aware that the game has issues. Okay, I'm fully aware that there are 3D Mario games that have surpassed it in quality. Mario Odyssey, right? I understand that if you ask anybody, they'll say Mario Odyssey is objectively superior to Mario 64. But I've beaten Mario 64 4 times. I've never played through Mario Odyssey. In between the time that I got Mario Odyssey on my Switch, I have not beaten it once, and I've beaten Mario 64 twice. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's just, I like it. I just like it, okay? It's just something about it I just really, really like, and I don't know what it is. And I don't know if I have some deep-seated, like, I don't know what it is, okay? Because it's not like I'm nostalgic for this N64 game, or any of that stuff. I wasn't really around when the N64 was at its peak. Like, I just like it, man. I'm sorry. And I know people are going to be like, "Oh, what? You're just trying to like go with popular opinion, or, or maybe you're trying to be a contrarian in some weird roundabout way." But I really didn't want to pick Mario 64, because I really knew that anybody who hears me say that it's my favorite game of all time is just going to roll their eyes and say, okay, fuck you. But that's how I feel. But if it's any solace for you, it was a bit of a toss-up, because I also really considered putting Breath of the Wild on there. Because Breath of the Wild is just a game that I'm smiling from ear to ear like a little freaking dumb little child every time I play it, because it's just such a perfectly designed little sandbox. Massive sandbox, actually, where it just always feels like something wacky and unique is happening. And I laugh like an insane person every time I play that game. Every time I'm laughing like a freaking madman. Like, and if you look at my Nintendo Switch, you look at the clips, right? There's like thousands of Breath of the Wild clips. There's so many Breath of the Wild clips. And they're all priceless memories to me. But ultimately, I couldn't put Breath of the Wild as my favorite game because I haven't beaten it. If you add up all of the time I've spent playing it, it's gotta be like 100 hours or so. Because I had it on my Wii U originally. I got about halfway through, and then I got a Switch a little bit later on, and I got Breath of the Wild, as you do. I mean, you got a Switch, you got Breath of the Wild. That's just how it is. And so I had to restart the game. So, but honestly, huge testament to just how good that game is. I didn't mind. I wasn't dreading the fact that I had to restart. I love the game so much that I was excited to re-experience it because it's just such a pure, fun experience. So I would say, here's what I will say. Mario 64 will always be like a special game to me. I love it. It's just such a good time. But I also think that for me, my favorite game is something that will change a lot. I mean, it fluctuates. I mean, if you ask me next week, I bet a lot of these choices would probably be different because I'm very indecisive, and my mood, definitely affects, how I'm gonna rank these things, and like, and I'm also always playing new games, and always, like I said, I like games. I really like games. And I'm always trying to play new games that I've been wanting to try for a long time on my backlog and everything. So eventually, Mario 64 won't be my favorite game. Eventually, it won't be. Probably. But for now, I just, out of all the games that I've played to completion, Mario 64 is the one that I could see myself going back to the soonest. And the one that I've gotten the most playtime out of. And the one that I enjoy the most. And even to this day, when I play a 3D platformer, I'm just so trained to control it the way that Mario 64 controls. Like, I've been playing Ratchet and Clank, the first Ratchet and Clank. I've just been on like a conquest to find the Ratchet and Clank games recently, by the way. I've been to my local game store twice looking for Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, because I hear that's the best one, or one of the best ones, but they just plain don't have it, which is pissing me off because I really want to play it. So eventually I was like, you know what, fuck it. I bought Ratchet and Clank 1 on the PS2 years ago, never played it. I'm just going to bite the bullet and play that one because I'm tired of searching around for a game that clearly I'm just not going to get unless I order it on eBay or something. And I don't want to emulate it because I don't want to deal with that shit right now. So so I've been playing Ratchet and Clank, and I walk up to a little area, right? And I'm so ingrained to Mario 64 and the way that it controls that I tried to do the little side backflip that you can do. And then I was like, okay, wow, you can't do that in this game. This is not Mario 64, you idiot. And I was sad because I was like, oh, man, I wish I could do that. Like, I love the way that game feels. I love the controls. A lot of people are like, oh, the controls are slippery, the controls are bad. I love the controls. I love all the jumps that you can do. I love Mario's moveset in that game. Mario's moveset in Mario 64 feels so... It's one of those things where it's like, it's not the most robust moveset in the world. Like, you look at Mario Odyssey, and Mario can do all sorts of crazy shit, even things that are just really situational. But Mario 64's more limited moveset, I know exactly how to best take advantage of every single move. And I feel like when I play Mario 64, I feel like I have such a perfect understanding of the exact distance of like every one of his jumps, and like I just feel like I have such a good understanding of how the game works and just all of that stuff. And that's just, that's just because I played it so much, right? I mean, you spend so much time doing something, obviously it's going to become second nature to you, but like, trying to move into these other Mario games, it just feels weird because I'm not accustomed to the way they feel. And I feel kind of like an old man because I'm like, I just wanted to control like Mario 64. Just give me my side jump and my long jump and my backflip. Fuck you. Fuck you. But like, someday I will play Mario Odyssey and I'll probably eat my words. I'll probably be like, oh shit, Mario Odyssey is peak Mario, 3D Mario. But for now, Mario 64 is my favorite game. And you know what? You can throw bags of shit at me. You can throw bags of shit at me. You can throw bags of piss at me, bags of cum, bags of vomit, bags of whatever bodily fluid you want, bags of blood even. You can throw whatever you want at me, quite frankly. I like Mario 64. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That's just how I am. That's just how I feel. So, yeah, I think that I think that's it. So that's my list. I spent a lot longer talking about it than I did making it. We're at 2.5 hours here. But you know what? I wasn't lying to you when I said I like talking about games. I really like talking about games, and I really enjoyed just sitting down and like info dumping about all this shit because I feel like anybody with any specific kind of like special interest kind of knows this feeling where you have all this knowledge and like all these opinions and thoughts and things that you just want to like get out. And because it's just so fun, you just love dumping about all this stuff so much, but you feel bad talking about it with random people or friends or family and stuff too much because that like that like if you just keep going on and on and on, you feel like you're cornering them. You feel like they're getting bored with it. You feel like they kind of want it to be over, and they don't have the same, especially if they don't have the same enthusiasm for it as you do. I don't really know anyone who would really want to put up with a 2.5 hour long conversation just about how much I like games and how much and my stupid opinions about them. So I'm glad to have this kind of avenue to just info dump about them if I want to. And you know what? You can listen if you want to listen, or if you don't want to listen, you don't have to listen. And that's what's so perfect about it. I corner somebody at a social gathering and talk to them about why I think Mad World has a really cool art style and why Tokyo Jungle is an overlooked game for the PS3 and why the Mortal Kombat games on PS2 were flawed but special and blah 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 info stupid dumb blah blah blah. That's like what you do if you like want to ensure you'll never have sex, which I have done a good job of, don't get me wrong. But I think this is a format where you can walk away from the conversation if you want at any point, and you won't offend me because I won't know. But if you actually are interested in these things, and maybe you gathered some new insights, or you just enjoyed hearing my opinions and things, I love that. That's great. I think that's so cool. That's so wonderful. And I just I don't know. I really enjoyed this. This has been a really fun experience for me, and I hope that I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I hope you enjoyed hearing me ramble. As much as I enjoyed rambling. So my voice hurts. I don't talk this much usually. So I'm gonna go make some tea. Probably play some Outrun or perhaps some Yoshi's Island, maybe some Stardew Valley. Definitely not some Brink, cause fuck Brink. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, and we've got some more great videos coming, with a nice chill atmosphere, on this second channel of mine. So yeah, have a wonderful night and take care. Bye bye.